Wakey, wakey, everyone. And it's another fabulous day in Wellington Wells. I've looked at the weather report for you, and apparently it's going to be variable. Isn't that a surprise? Well, be sure to bring an umbrella or two as you go out on your daily rounds, and you'll be right as rain. Right as rain. Ha! I didn't even mean it like that. Well, wakey, wakey, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of Well, 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 the show where we talk about how to be your physical best. Now, some of you dear listeners have been writing in about some sort of plague that's supposed to be going around Wellington Wells. Now, first of all, don't be ridiculous. If there were plague, wouldn't you expect to notice dead bodies in the streets strewn here and there? But you don't notice them, do you? But I want to address some of the wilder claims people have been writing to me about. For example, this chap, Constable Bill Blake of Trim Street, St. George's Home. And he writes that some of the wastrels have become quite incoherent and belligerent. And, well, he chalks it up to plague. Well, you don't have to blame it on plague, do you? I mean, I'd be belligerent if I were off my joy. Who knows? I might go around murdering people in the middle of the night and leave a trail of corpses missing their kidneys. But I do take my joy, don't I? If those poor wastrels would just go back on their joy, you wouldn't hear another thing about plague. But that's not the half of it. Mrs. E.H. Undershaft of the Tyning Maiden Home claims to have heard plague-afflicted wastrels speaking in Old English. What an imagination you have, Mrs. Undershaft. Now, I remember when you used to read as Beowulf and did all the voices. Mrs. Undershaft, they're probably speaking English and you've just gone slightly deaf. So, there's nothing to worry about. Well, I'm afraid we've come to the end of our time. Tune in again next week when we talk about scurvy. If your teeth are... Ah, hello. Welcome to today's edition of That Tastes Amazing. What is it? This is the show where we help you expand your nutritional horizons. You know, you can eat a lot more things than you've ever dreamt of. And I'm here to show you what. Now today, we're going to talk about the wonderful world of edible weeds. You might think the orach plant is just a roadside weed, but our friend Natriclix patula bears thousands of seeds which you can gather in the autumn, and they'll keep all year long, if you haven't already snaffled them up. Yummy! Welcome to News Hour. All sorts of amazing things have been going on in Wellington Wells. I'm sure you must be as excited as I am to know about them. You may be surprised to know that a few silly people are still throwing out perfectly good meat scraps. Now, it's never a good idea to throw out food, especially meat. If you have a scrap of meat you don't want to eat or that's gone slightly off, then run it right down to your neighborhood butcher. They'll know what to do with it, and they'll be happy to buy it from you or exchange it for sausage or even V-meat, yes. You'll be doing yourself a favor, and you'll be doing your patriotic Wellington Wells duty as well. And remember, my fellow Wellsians, V-meat may smell off on rainy days, but it's always nutritious and... And now it's time for I Hear You, the part of our show where Jack Worthing, that's me, answers your letters and questions about our life in Wellington Wells. And today's first letter is from Rupert Scribner of 12 Spanker Lane. Mr. Scribner asks, Uncle Jack, yeah, that's me, is it possible to take too much joy? Well, Mr. Scribner, it is possible, but you really have to work at it. You have to take a great deal of joy before you experience any toxic effects. Joy is quite safe in the short term, and you can take up to 10 pills per day if you're a man of average weight. However, There are side effects, as we all know. Joy not only makes you happy, it suppresses bad old memories. If you take too much, it may temporarily suppress memories that you actually need to get around. Do you have trouble identifying the people in your house, and yet they seem quite friendly and affectionate? Do you find yourself wondering exactly what your house looks like and how to get to it from wherever you are? Does it seem as if the shops and the streets have all been moved around behind your back, and the map that you have in your head of your environment doesn't quite match the one in your memory? Well then, you may have taken rather too much joy. It might be best to ask a friend to take you home so you can... Every now and then, you hear someone talk about downers. What's a downer? Well, a downer is someone who simply isn't taking their joy. This person endangers the mental health of everyone around by bringing them down. He or she may try to draw you into a conversation about long-ago events, or he may try to convince you that his life is not happy, or even that your life is not happy. Don't be fooled. The moment you realize you're talking to a downer, you should stop listening to him right away. He needs help, and listening to him won't help anyone. Try this easy test. Are you having a conversation that's bringing you down? Then one of the people who's talking to you is a downer. Or if none of them is a downer, and they all seem as happy as can be, well, then you may be the downer. In that case, don't worry. Immediately excuse yourself and take your joy right away, and you'll be right as rain in no time. You can never be too careful.
How did I get here?
Did you go and see Sally Boyle?
I can't have. She's in the village.
Or she came to you. It doesn't matter.
She comes by. Why does she come by? Do we trade?
What did you buy from her?
Oh, my memory's more than usually fuzzy.
Did you take something she gave you?
I was sad, wasn't I? And ashamed. I can still feel it. I just don't know why.
You bought something from her, didn't you?
Why was I sad? What have I got to be ashamed of? Margaret, don't look at me like that. Can't help it if I don't remember.
October 23rd, 1964. Wellington weather is most certainly not falling apart. Ridiculous. The very idea that our citizens are starving to death in the streets. Nonsense. Poor Victoria Pink, forced off her joy by mad Ollie Starkey, is certainly not starting to remember all of the terrible things she's done. Of course not. No, she finds a mood booth. All these nasty thoughts will melt away like fog on an English morning.
People in town are getting a tad bit skinny. I think they're starving to death.
You give me my joy!
Oh, people have to know.
I need my joy.
You're wicked and selfish, and I hate you!
No. Got to find a mood booth. Were they eating charcoal? How hungry were they?
You all right, Miss Bing? Might want to top up if I ain't rude to say so.
Miss Bing, there's going to be a fair!
Nothing to see here, nothing to see. Move along.
Nothing to worry about. How long has there been a plague in the streets?
Oh, hello, Miss Bing. Nothing to worry about. Everything is tip-top.
Lock her up, lock her up. Take the key and lock her up. My
Your debt continues to accrue, Mrs. M. We must have this week's ounce of flesh.
I'll have it in a few days.
I heard you got a bit of salted rat you've been saving for an occasion. Now, what's all this said? Toodaloo!
Did I hear you had a spot of meat to spare then?
Mustn't haul food, Mrs. M.
There's got to be a mood booth somewhere.
My stomach hurts so.
Did you eat something rotten?
I haven't eaten at all.
Oh, well, that's normal then.
What are they all doing?
Mate, you know that? Most blokes wouldn't just sit there and let me natter on. I feel like I could tell you anything.
There. I'll take my joy and forget this ever happened.
Miss Bing, there isn't anybody in there.
What are we doing?
You can utilise the facility.
What are we doing here?
Taking our joy, I hope? Good Lord, Mum. You might want to take a lot, eh? Wouldn't want to mistake you for a towner, eh?
I can't take my joy. I have to
Sweet Jesus.
keep a clear head.
You are! You've got downer. You'd best come with me, Mum. Miss Bing is a downer! 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 She's a downer!
I am on joy. It's an experimental formula.
Don't make this all...
I need to get out of here. I can't fight them all. They won't listen. They won't stop coming! I need to get out of here. I can't fight them all. They won't listen. They won't stop coming. Maybe through the houses.
Are you having a conversation with you down? Then one of the people who's talking to you is a downer.
We are trying
Or if
to
none of them is a downer,
you,
and they all seem as
Miss
happy as can
Bing.
be, well then you may be the downer. In that case, don't worry. Immediately excuse yourself and take your joy right away, and you'll be right as rain in no time. You can never be too careful.
There she is!
I can't believe I'm hiding from the police.
Are you running from the authorities?
Not now, Mother, please.
You've shut me out of your thoughts for so many years.
I can't, I just can't.
From the war. Yes, well, I'm not going to read the rest of this letter because I know exactly what you should do. What do you do with a bunch of old newspaper? Well, it's the perfect thing to use to light a fire in your fireplace. The older and drier the paper, the better. Now, I wouldn't recommend using it to wrap fish. First of all, because well, I haven't seen a fish in years. And second, because you're not a fish shop. And third of all, the paper does get a bit crumbly, and you don't want that on your food.
Bon voyage. Did they commit suicide? They took poison.
Yeah.
I can't think with all these bobbies around me and all this death. I've got to get somewhere quiet.
All my life, but lately it seems like they're moving the buildings around them.
That's the one what done it! I see you! Oh, you're coming with me!
Come to see how the other half rots.
Come to help.
Haven't you helped enough already?
What then must we do?
Please. I'm throwing up and everything's horrible. If I just took my joy, it would all go back to bright and lovely.
Well, I can hardly stop you. I'm only an uncomfortable memory.
But I can't. I have to keep a clear head. Till I can tell Father what's going on out there.
Has Father changed very much since we lived in the palace? Because he was always excruciatingly well informed about what was going on then.
He doesn't know this. He can't. If he knew, he would fix it.
Yes, well, it's lovely that you're thinking of your mother again. One hates to be forgotten, even if I'm in a faraway country and, for all you know, dead for years.
He's probably at the Victory Memorial Camp. I can walk there on the underground tracks.
Doodlebug! To what do I owe the pleasure?
I ran into Ollie Starkey.
Good Lord, are you all right?
He thinks the town is running out of food and we're all going to die.
He always did have a keen sense of drama. You know, he used to be a song and dance man.
People are eating charcoal, Daddy. And there's a plague in the village.
Well, you might have told me you were planning to go off your joy.
Couldn't we give them all blackberry? They could make plans, plant vegetables, even start the trade over the bridge again. They don't even know they're starving.
Sally Boyle can barely make enough blackberry for the bobbies. But don't you worry. Your man, Dr. Verloc, is working on a treatment that will put everyone back on the right track.
So we just wait. We can't do nothing.
Nothing is exactly what we must do. If our people realize they're running out of food, they'll kill each other for the last box of V-meat. Doing your duty isn't always pretty. You don't always get a bright, shiny medal. But a few people on top doing their duty, us, is the only thing that keeps us from savagery.
What can I do? Let me help.
You have such a keen sense of duty. Yes, help. Organize a Simon Says competition. Keep them distracted until your man comes through. He will come through, won't he?
Yes, Father.
But for God's sake, go back on your joy. You'll only complicate things.
I suppose I better check on Dr. Verloc. Make sure he really is close to a solution. Well, I'm not bloody well taking the underground right back to those bobbies.
Take your choice. You take your joy immediately.
They've been jerry-rigging these walkways. Where are the men? Did they fall off and everyone just forgot? Plague! Does Father know there's plague here?
One clearly sees the superiority of Western civilization.
Spare me your revolutionary rhetoric. That's what landed you in jail.
What landed me in jail was refusing to accept the unacceptable.
Lovely day for it, Miss Bing. Did you see the partage? Smashing. You'll know about the imposter what caused the ruckus to move.
Did you hear? The circus is coming to town.
Did you hear? Oggy Jack got another one last night.
I shouldn't have hit him so hard. We're supposed to leave something for the doctors to rehabilitate.
Well, he did try to stab you.
He did? you hear Miss Bing went full downer? Nah, that was a misidentification. Gentle straightened it all out. You see, you be respectful with a regular fashion.
This is Victoria Bing. Let me in, please. I need to speak to Dr. Verloc.
Oh, Miss Bing. I wouldn't quite enter the premises at the moment, ma'am.
Why not?
Well, as it happens, there's a rather intensive beautification procedure underway. You really wouldn't believe how beautificated the facility's looking.
Why would that... Oh, dear.
Was getting more and more beautificated in there by the minute.
But I really do have urgent business with Dr. Verloc.
All right, ma'am. As the Chinese say, don't say I didn't warn you.
Feeling all right there, Miss Bing? I just received a most peculiar pronunciamento about an altercation at a mood booth.
Executive committee business.
Oh, well that's all right then, ma'am. Sorry to bother.
Oh, Miss Bing! This, ain't no place for a lady at the moment, Mum. They've gone completely mental in there.
I'm here to speak with Dr. Verloc.
The workers are, a tad cross with Dr. V, Miss Bing. He's barricaded himself up in his office, and he won't come out until we give him the all clear.
Your very own uprising.
Can you get it sorted?
Not to worry, ma'am. We'll put down these troublemakers as soon as we can get in. They've cut the power.
Now listen, this labour action is important. We ain't striking for a nice hot lunch. Like last time? Shut up, Ronnie. No, we are trying to do our job, and we can't, as those who are in charge have gone completely off their trolley. Dr. Lee's failure to ensure the joy supply strikes at the very heart of our civilization.
Maybe they'll all be too distracted by their little riot to see me slip through there.
Yes, Edith. Also women's souls too. I know. And we all have to hang together. If any doctors are listening in, this is no time for partisan bickering. There's only one person who ever made the train run on time here at Hayward, and that's Sally Boyle. We want Sally back. We need Sally back. We want Sally Boyle. We want Sally Boyle. We want Sally Boyle. We want Sally Boyle.
We've still got the upper hand, lads. Our shop steward's got the key card, and the only way they're getting on the floor is through him.
I'd like to see him try and take it away from him.
Well, he's a bruiser, isn't he?
Keep your eyes on the doors, lads. Nobody in or out. And nobody disturbs my siesta.
No wonder Verloc's locked himself away, with that brute skulking around.
If I can get the power back on, the Bobbies will get things sorted. Then maybe Tony Verloc will come out of hiding.